What's up, everybody? Chm Carnivores here. I hope you're having a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Now, it is August, and so that means the August Grow Tent Tour. Now, everything is growing much larger, and things are happening in here that are going to require much longer videos. So what I thought I'd do today is give you more of an abridged, shorter version of the Carnivorous Plant Tour, and then sort of break it up throughout the month. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get turned around and enjoy. See you soon. All right, everybody. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. And first things first, I want to show this absolutely gorgeous plant. This is Nepenthes Brutus, which is a truncata by Mirador, and it is growing just great in here. This is a cutting from this is a cutting from Carnivorous. Its last picture right here. These pictures last absolutely forever. I got this plant maybe a month and a half ago, maybe a month, I don't know. This picture looks like it came out brand new, and it was on there when I got it. But what's really exciting is there's going to be quite a large picture jump. This is the newest picture, way over here. It has still got a lot of ways to grow, and it is continuing to grow. So I'm very excited to see that. The Nepenthes Brutus will get enormous. It gets essentially the same size, maybe a little smaller than a Nepenthes Caesar, but it definitely gives it a run for its money. Now, speaking of Caesar, right next to that is this from Chm Tropicals. This is my beautiful female Caesar, and you can see here it's got a nice, this is its oldest picture, so absolutely beautiful, holds on to them forever as well. But here's the exciting thing, and I know if you see the shorts, this is its newest picture, and so you can see it's got quite the large picture jump, and this is still a very small specimen for this plant. It will continue to put out enormous pictures. We actually have more growing down here. There's another picture forming, so it will be some of them get the size of 2-liter bottles, so very excited to see that. Moving on down with the giants, we have the oh gosh, let me make sure I get this right. This is Stillest Hour, so truncata by Hamakua by Chm. These pictures get enormous. This has taken a long time to picture for me in my care, but I'm excited to say it is producing its first pictures. And so here's one right here that is a very small, humble beginning to what this thing will be, which is a picture that is well over a foot tall. Just an enormous picture, and so I am super excited to see that grow out. This is from Chm Tropicals again. It has been focusing on growing its leaves, and as you can see, it is doing a very good job of that. It started off very slow. I was very concerned about it, and I treated it, and it is absolutely taken off. All right, so coming on down here, this is Nepenthes Diariana. This is an old Victorian clone. This is also from Chm Tropicals. I'm sure you can start to see a trend here. And it produces enormous, very robust pictures. This one is not telling the story. This was a little one. You could tell that the plant was like, I'm not sure if I wanted to create a picture yet or not. But they get extremely colorful. And I am going to have to find a new location for this because Diariana gets enormous leaves. So it will get leaves even larger than a Miranda. So I'm going to have to plan that out and get it to a different location. But the actual pictures itself get absolutely enormous. So I got some, I don't know what that is. So excited to see that. Here I've got a cutting. That's a Spectabolus by Platykyla. I'll show you a picture on that here in just a minute. Absolutely gorgeous pictures. I'm sure you've seen them before. They get green and brown, which is really neat. The little Rob Cantley, or the Specialized by Rob Cantley are continuing to do just fine and growing out. They, just like anything else. So my quote-unquote greenhouse, if you will, is a shed that the grow tent is in, but it's open to the elements. And in Florida, not only do you have the heat, but you have a ton of bugs. So I'm constantly having to fight pests off, and as you can see, some of these plants got thrip because thrip love the new growth. They have been treated, so the new growth is going to be just fine on them, but I'm constantly having to treat the new growth for that. Here is another Rob Cantley, Specialized by Rob Cantley, and you can start to see if it focuses that it's starting to get that red top on it. Now the cool thing about Spatula by Rob Cantley is it is an extremely easy grower, and the pitchers get enormous. Look up a spatula by Rob Cantley on Google, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, these pitchers are so cool. They get an enormous peristome that's extremely rigid, and then they get that body of like an enormous spatulata. So it's such a cool plant to see, and the fact that it grows so easy is just all that more fun and impressive to own. Next to that is Bioc by Truncata. So Bioc by Truncata is really cool. Here's a small picture on it. They get not as big as Truncata, but they certainly get larger than a Ventosa by Truncata. But they have a very, very like not woody but stiff pitcher body, and then the peristome gets this very much like a scalloped look to it, like a Sibianensis hybrid. So it's so cool. Highly recommend people own that. Next to that is another one I highly recommend people own. This is Alata by Truncata. It is a St. Boy, good Lord. St. Conrad. I'm so glad that wasn't what I was thinking of. So St. Conrad, very, very easy growing. And while this is a young cutting, or small cutting rather, it will grow very, very fast. And so I'm excited to see that. You can see I've got some Drosera Adelaide in here. They don't like the same like swampy, super wet soil like a regular Drosera, so they do just fine in this type of damp sphagnum moss, and they will grow. They grow like root systems, and then they grow their plants off of that. Every now and then they'll flower, but for the most part, the way that they propagate themselves is through nodes underground. As they grow their roots, they'll sprout up new plants, and once they get established, they will create colonies very, very fast. So this one is, believe it or not, if you've seen the training video, or not the training video, the videos I did, several videos of like when a growth point breaks. This is what this is. This is a Alata by Caesar, so very similar to this, only going to have much larger pitchers due to the Caesar. But now it's got two main growth points, and it's got one node that sort of got halfway activated, and it's just waiting for its turn. Extremely easy to grow. Both of these will be giants. Both of these are gorgeous, and they look very similar. And both of these, here you go, it grows just fine in a home humidity and a window sill. So great conversation piece if you want to get that going, and also a great, just a great plant to have inside. Moving on down the line, here's another Rob Cantley, especially by Rob Cantley. Here is my Rob Cantley. This thing has been a struggle since the day I've owned it, but I think I finally got it figured out. I am worried about the temperature right now. Believe it or not, in Florida it is reading over 100 degrees. So I have an AC unit on this grow tent, but I mean it can only do so much. So right now it is 83 degrees in here, and so I am worried about how that's going to impact the Rob Cantley, but it seems to be doing just fine. I broke that leaf because I'm a klutz, but the leaf is doing just fine. We'll continue to watch that. It's got new growth coming out. This is that. So that's the cutting I have. This is the Spectaculus by Platykyla. Tiny, tiny pitchers. This is a small basil. I cut the main vine, but they absolutely give beautiful, beautiful pitchers. Let's see if I can pull this one out. And yeah, it still doesn't do it justice. The peristome is very much like a lime green with brown striping on it. Here's something interesting. This is my, goodness gracious, Ventosa by, I believe, Naga by Bongzo. No, Ventosa Bongzo by Merliana. And so it is growing fine. It has not produced any pitchers for me, but it is producing a good sized basil. But it is actually starting to produce its first pitcher, so I'm very excited to see that. The pitcher itself is very like a coffee cup, like a coffee mug. It's huge, but very like squat, and so I'm very excited to see what that looks like. Next to that is a Ventosa Naga by Merliana. So that is going to have enormous, almost black pitchers. So very excited to see that. It is getting in there. I mean, it's been there for about 3 weeks or so. So it's just trying to find its happy place, and once it does, it'll start growing just fine. Let's see what else we have here. This is, oh my goodness. You want to see what happens when you grow your pitchers too close together, your pots too close together? That's the newest picture on the Marpesa by Truncata. I'm gonna safe to say that this is not the best picture it's ever produced. But yeah, that is the new picture, so that's healthy. It's just, it's seen better days. My bad there, Marpesa. But we'll produce big, beautiful, stripy, almost like Miranda looking pictures, but with large size. Next to it is the newest JB by Truncata giant picture that is forming. I'm super excited to see how that grows out. I'm starting to run a little long on time, so I might just switch over to the thing I really wanted to show you in this video, and we'll continue the bench tour at a different date. But last but not least, I'll show the JB by Patient you guys have seen me talk about. It's got a new picture on it. Now, the main event, what I wanted to show you. So you guys know I've been growing these seeds for a while. Well, it's been maybe, some of them, this one has been about a month, and this one's been about a month, maybe 5 weeks. But look at these beauties. All of them have plants like this. And if I can get it to focus, see if I can bring it in here without absolutely, see that? It's got little tiny pictures on them. They're so cute. Itty bitty pictures. I don't know what they plan on catching with those little things, but they are adorable, and you gotta like the effort. So I got these seeds from Carnivorous. Cool fact, right now Carnivorous is having a 60% off sale. And so some of these seeds, they sent me 1 or 2 pods each. And they're like $6. So that's insane. But yeah, so this is actually a newer one. These are about a month old and they're growing. So all these are doing just fine and growing, and I'm super excited to see that. Biggest thing is I just want to make sure that these plants stay moist during this heat. They will do fine. That's the cool thing about growing intermediates, is they will do just fine in the heat. It can get up even close to 100, which is not for very long, which I'm at no risk of this tent getting that way. But anyways, let me show you one more thing. I pulled it out here to show you. So this is I'm probably gonna end up showing you all these plants, but this is Nepenthes Hiroshima, which is a truncata it's just a truncata by Wise Exotics. It is not the easiest to grow. It is a little bit ornery, but so here is its old picture. And so what they're known for, the Hiroshima, is size, so it eventually will get huge, and stripes. They're very, very stripy. Here's the newest picture on it. So I am super, super excited to see what that one's gonna look like. It's got plenty of time left to grow on it, but I moved this plant to a different location to see if that would help, and it seems to be helping. It's got edema on it, and of course, I like to keep my pictures on for a while. But if you are gonna go to truncata, I always recommend that, but that is a tough grower. Sorry, my finger's in the camera. I'm over here fighting with my Maxima wavy leaf that struggled for so long, and as soon as I moved it to this location, has absolutely exploded. I don't know what it is about this location. It's unfortunate that it happens to be right where I need to stand, but it has absolutely come to life. It's got a couple pictures on it. Let me see if I can get one there. And then here's its newest one. What I love about this one is the lime green picture with this really cool purple. So this is a Nepenthes Maxima wavy leaf, and some of them produce striped pictures. This one produces all lime green pictures, but it's such a cool contrast with those purple wavy leaves. And they will keep that shape through the lifetime of the leaf. Highly recommend this plant. It was doing very well for me, and then this is one of the originals that I just was not prepared to grow. It's a very easy grower, but I just had no setup to speak of. But now that it has found its own and I got it in this location, it's just taking off. And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to find a new location if it keeps growing at this pace. All right, so I promised to keep it short, but you know me, I'm long-winded. But I will continue to cover the rest of these in another part 2, part 3 of the August grow tent. As these plants get bigger and bigger, there's more to cover. I want to make sure to not only just show you the plant, but give you a little background on them. That way, if you're interested in buying them or having them in your collection, you'll know where to go to get them, and then also how to take care of them. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I so much appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope that you have a lovely day. See you soon. What's up, everybody? Chm Carnivores here. I hope you're having a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Now, I had no intention of making another video this week, but I came into the grow tent to water the plants, and I was absolutely blown away by the different changes that are happening in the tent, and I had to share those with you. So today is going to be an impromptu tour of the grow tent. There's been a lot of new things that are happening, a lot of really cool things, some beautiful pictures, and I want to share those with you. All that and more coming your way in just a minute. All right, so first thing we're going to talk about is the Mira by Truncata. I got this one from Carnivorous a few years ago, and it hasn't really done a whole lot for me historically, but now that I've got it in this newer position, it is growing like crazy. And that's what's really cool about Nepenthes. They'll let you know when they're not that happy, but once you get them into their happy place, they'll let you know that they are very, very happy. And so let's look at some of these. Here is the largest one on here. This is on the main vine. Absolutely stunning. Now the pictures will get much larger than this, but I just love that cherry red. And here are the basils coming out on them, and they're just so green and vibrant. This is not touched up at all. They're just that green of leaves against those red pictures. It's absolutely stunning. I have been feeding them more on a regular schedule, and I'm sure that that is helping out quite a bit. The Maxima wavy leaf has not changed a whole lot since you last saw it. It does have a new leaf that has just emerged and is looking absolutely stunning with that nice little wave there. It's holding a lot of pictures, which is really nice. Some of them are fading out because I've been feeding them, but just absolutely gorgeous, and I love it, and it is doing great. Here's that Veitchii. I don't have the tag for it anymore, but it was just a complex hybrid that I got from Predatory Plants. I have completely neglected this thing. It was free, so you know how that goes. But it seems to be loving that, and as you can see here, this picture, they're just so beautiful. Look at that long neck of the Veitchii. It's definitely got that Maxima feel to it, which is crazy. But it's just got that beautiful long neck of the Veitchii, looking absolutely gorgeous. Let's see. Here is the Peltata by Sumadira, and here is the newest picture that's come out on it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful plant. It stays really compact and very small. It does not get very large. A lot of that's from the Peltata. You're not going to really see it vining all that much as it's going to be spreading out, but it's absolutely doing fantastic. Here is the Sibunensis patches by Truncata. Yeah, Sibunensis patches by Truncata. My phone's not wanting to cooperate. This newest picture is coming out. It is growing quite well and is getting, here's this newest picture that I haven't shown you yet. Look at a little bit of a striping going on there with a peristome. Not much, but we got one little stripe there. Just a gorgeous, and I don't know if this is going to pick it up, but it's got almost like a maroon color pitcher lid, peristome with a little bit of a yellow in there, purple interior. Gorgeous plant. It's finally making some leaf jumps. Been a relatively slow grower. Aristolochioides, Thorelii by Aristolochioides rather, it's got a nice little basil going now, and it's got its new pitchers. What I think is so cool about this is that the basil pitchers are this deep purple, but I guess what you would call intermediate to upper pitchers are this lighter sort of brownish red color, almost like a rust color. But really cool. It's doing better now that I'm watering it more regularly. I still have to change this pot. The media is way too tight in there, and so it's drying out too fast. Let's see if I can get one of these over here. This is the Stenophylla. Absolutely doing fantastic. It's pitchering like crazy. These pitchers are very, very tough, and as you can see, that is not water. Those are dew droplets. So this plant is very sticky, but a gorgeous plant, and it is taking off. I need to do a little bit of trimming of the dead leaves, but it is taking off. It's probably 15 to 18 inches wide at this point. Let's see if I can get that one on the back. Say hello. Doing great. Let's see here. This is the Astucia by Spatulata by Jacqueline. And let me see if I can get this newest picture. You can see the speckling on the underside of the lid. It's also, if I can get my phone to focus, it's got some nice little striping. Just an absolutely gorgeous plant. There's a couple of them in there. I'm just going to let them continue to grow together. They seem to be enjoying that kind of atmosphere. Here's the newest picture on Chm. Let's see if I can get it to come out. Starting to get that flared peristome. There we go. Starting to get that flared peristome that the Chm gets. It doesn't get too much of a flared peristome, but it will start to elongate. This is actually a little bit more flared than I would expect from an Chm as far as shape goes, but still doing great. The bane of my collection, the Rob Cantley, is finally starting to put up this measly little pitcher. This thing is definitely not suited for my conditions. I run intermediate, but being in Florida, it is definitely more on the hotter side of intermediate, and it does not get those nighttime drops, and Rob Cantley is not happy about it. Here is that, it's a Cobra, Vechi Cobra by Spatulata, or Spectabilis rather, and so you can see the striping. Taking a while to grow, but what would you expect with the Vechi? All right, let's see what else we got in here. The Spatulata by Rob Cantley, look at how beautiful they are. Holy cow. This one's definitely got a lot more Spatulata in it with that dark purple peristome and the green body. Absolutely gorgeous, where you have some like this that still Spatulata in a lot of ways, but overall this pitcher body has definitely stayed more purple from the start to the finish. Here's another one over here, just looking beautiful. I cannot be more pleased with how these are growing out. Let's see, down here is a Pulchra hybrid. Now I fed this, so the pitcher is starting to get that burn on it, but look at that peristome. Just a stunning plant. I don't have the tag on it, but it's a complex Pulchra hybrid from Todd's Tropicals. Here's another one. Very beautiful. Gets that sort of queen's collar kind of look to it. Absolutely stunning. Here's a Marpesa by Clipiata. You can clearly see the Clipiata body shape in there. And this thing is starting to make some huge leaf jumps. Definitely time to repot it. It's outgrown its pot. It's drying out very fast, and so I need to do that. But clearly you can see that Clipiata in there, and so I'm very happy with that. The Renoir Tiana by Rob Cantley is putting out a good sized basil now, and so it's good to go. It hasn't really put out a whole lot of pictures. Let me see if I can find its newest picture. It's going to be this one. Very tough pictures. Great plant, was very slow, but now that I've got it, I'm more on a feeding schedule and have moved it, it's done very well. Oh, look at this big Mira by Truncata back here, looking gorgeous. Let's see. Down here, the Caesar, Alata by Caesar, is actually putting out a basil. I didn't even notice that. That basil's obviously been growing for a while. It is now probably, I don't know, 5-6 inches tall, maybe taller, and so it's putting out its first basil pitchers, so that's exciting to see, and so we'll continue to watch that one grow. It hasn't put out the giant pitchers, see if I can get down here, that you would expect from an Alata by Caesar, but I will tell you what, it is a fast grower, and it is an easy grower, which you would expect from the parentage. I actually find the Caesars in general to be easy growers. I don't know if any of you have that luck out there, but I certainly have had no difficulty growing the Caesars as of yet. Hopefully I don't jinx anything. Let's see. The Spatulata by Truncata Titan has got some flower stalks. This one is pretty much spent. You can see all the pollen has now turned, and so I need to go ahead and cut that one off. But it's got a new flower stalk coming in, and it has got a large basil down here that is taking up. Just when I finally got some more space in the grow tent, it is filling in very rapidly, and so I'm gonna have to figure something out. Here is one of the newest pictures on the Sibuensis by Merliana. Now, this is a baby compared to what it will get, but this plant is pretty good size now, probably 20 inches or more across, maybe closer to 2 feet, but it's doing very well. I keep it away from the light a little bit further down, and it does extremely well with that.
as opposed to before I was growing it nearer the light, and it did not like that at all. If you have any questions, I know I'm kind of going pretty fast here, but if you have any questions or want to see anything, just let me know and I can look at, I can point some out for you. Here is the basil pitcher on that spatulata by Titan. Very small compared to what they will end up getting, which is incredibly large. Here is Diariana, doing very well. This plant starts off back here, and it keeps going, and it goes, and it goes, and it goes, and it just keeps going. I would say that this plant now, tip to base, is probably 5 or 6 feet. It curls around, so it's done very, very well. I'm a little nervous with the cold. We don't get too cold here in Florida, obviously, but Diariana is very, very picky about cold weather, and so I'm gonna need to watch that for sure. Let's see. Here is one of the newest pictures on Caesar, and so it's an intermediate, so it is growing quite well. See that little hook there at the base? It's growing quite well. It's always kept that sort of tiger stripe kind of look to it. And next to it is Brutus, which hasn't really put out too many pictures. There's one back there. Of course, it's going to be very difficult to get to because that's what Nepenthes do. There it is. So very similar, right? Caesar, Brutus. Almost identical plants, which makes sense with the parentage, but doing very well. So far, the Brutus is actually producing larger pictures for me than Caesar, which is interesting. All right, let's see what else. This is the Ventosa by Merliana by Bongzo, doing very well. Let's see if I can get a lower picture for you. Look how cool those are. Almost like little coffee mugs. That looks like an intermediate, actually. Here's a lower on the basil that's growing. Very unique shape. Sorry if the phone is shaking, I'm having to stretch out. But this plant has done very well. When I first got it, it didn't grow any pictures for probably, I don't know, several months. It was only working on basils, and as you can see, I mean, it's got at least 2 to 3 basils, and they're large basils in there. So a very basil heavy plant, which from the Ventosa, obviously. The Bongzo is given the color and the toughness of the pictures. Just a fun little plant. Got that from Todd's Tropicals. Here is the Glabrata by Aristolochioides, one of my favorites. These pictures are itty bitty. I don't even know if I can get it to focus on how small they are. Let me see if I can put, this is about as large as they get. Come on, camera. Come on. I don't know if it's going to focus in, but they're probably the size of a quarter, full size, but that's giving it a little credit. They're normally about the size of a dime or a nickel. And it basils like insane amounts. So it's already got probably 4 basils in there. But I cut the main stalk, and as you can see, it's got 2, well, maybe you can see, it's got 2 nodes growing off of that already. So it's a little tricky to get a hold of that, but if you can, I highly recommend that you jump all over that. It's a very rewarding plant, and it stays compact and small, and so it can be grown in just about any grow space. And then you got truncatas. So here's one of the Patience, or JB by Patience. Here's that complex truncata hybrid. They're beautiful. It's called Talented Towers from Predatory Plants. Here's the newest picture that's still got a long ways to go on the JB by Patience. Probably, it's only about a foot, I think, right now, but it's getting there. Here's that one I showed you. Remember, it's all malformed because it dried out. The picture lid never produced, but the body kept growing even though it opened, which they'll do. This is JB by Truncata Giant. I highly recommend that if you can get these are from Carnivorous. They have the JB lineage, and so if you can get a truncata with JB in it, my experience is a very hardy, fast growing, very large plants. Let's see. Here is another JB by Truncata Giant. And notice how the interior is very, very purple. And it'll start to lose that purple. Obviously, it's still at the top, but it'll start to lose that as it ages. But it's got great striping. Here's the Renoir Tiana. Renoir Tiana is a great plant that I think is highly underrated. If you can get your hands on one of them, I recommend that you do. They're just so beautiful. They're so rewarding. They're kind of a weed of carnivorous plants, or Nepenthes rather, but they're just so fun to grow. I want to get a red version as well. Highly recommend them. This beautiful plant is another pulchra hybrid. Look at the underside of that lid. It is stunning. The camera doesn't even really do it justice. Just deep purple peristome with that almost velvety purple interior. Absolutely gorgeous. Here's another one over here. And again, I grow all of my plants at a stark angle for the most part because I want to encourage them to basil, and it does take time, but you see there, they'll start to basil for you if you do that. What else do we got in here? Here is Glabrata, no, not Glabrata, Glandolifera by Rob Cantley. Oh my gosh, hold on one second, sorry. Glandolifera by Rob Cantley. There. Beautiful. I don't know if it'll show it, but it's just like the Stenophylla. Glandolifera, obviously, with the name would suggest, it is covered in glands that produce a ton of dew. Here's a smaller Titan's Tower by Predatory Plants, and you see it's very red. Titan's Tower in general is going to have some red pictures on it. They're Titan. They must have mixed with a red truncata as well. Here's its big brother or sister. Hasn't yet produced any flower stalks for me, but it's got a new picture forming. It's been a while since it's produced a picture, which I'm hoping it will do. Well, hopefully that will take, because I want to be able to start feeding it again, but it's pretty good size. Let's see here. There's Hiroshima growing like crap still. This truncata is just not a fun truncata to grow. I mean, some of you might have better luck than I have had with it, but I grow a lot of truncatas and I just do not ever have any luck with the Hiroshima clone. Down here we've got a Naga hybrid. It hasn't produced any pictures in a while, so once that does, I will follow up with you on that. This one is Biok by Truncata Giant. It's got that one down there, the itty bitty peristome picture, not peristome, basil picture, but it has not produced any large pictures for a while. I think it's focusing on growing its basils. This is that Rob Cantley, Ventosa by Rob Cantley, growing like crazy. Here are some of the babies that are growing out. They're doing quite well. This is Truncata, a lot by Truncata. So this is a lot by Caesar. This is a lot by Truncata. I'm letting it fold over like that because I'm hoping it will start producing a basil here shortly. But it is large. It goes all the way up. It's probably 5 or 6 feet in length. Let's see. Here's Ventosa Denver by Truncata Giant. It does very well. It takes on like a truncata shape, but obviously much smaller. Here's a, oof, oh boy. I want to say, you know, I don't even remember. It's got basils growing on it though, but I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. I'll have to put it in the description when I remember it. Oh, Splendiana by Truncata. Splendiana by Truncata. My phone is having trouble focusing today. It doesn't get very large pictures for me. I'm sure it will once it gets done basiling, but they're very beautiful, and so I do like it. Easy growing. I just kind of ignore it and it does its thing. Sorry for the camera flipping around here. Let's see, what else do we have here? I think that pretty much covers everything that is new, but just overall, I've been so excited about the growth of everything. Definitely putting it on a feeding schedule, which is obviously a no-duh comment, but I've been trying not to feed it because I don't want to overrun this greenhouse. As you can see, is already getting overrun like this. Now it's up on a pedestal, but this Brutus is probably another 5 foot tall pitcher plant. It actually grows faster than Caesar, oddly enough. Could be just this particular plant is faster growing, not necessarily indicative of that hybrid growing faster than Caesar, but in my case, it grows faster than Caesar. Caesar has kind of stalled out. It's growing a little bit, but it's kind of stalled out. Hamakua, you rarely hear me talk about Hamakua anymore. It has, so here's the thing. Hamakua likes very bright light, and so I do not have it in a position for very bright light. So because of that, it has been very angry with me and it has stopped pitching. So I need to get that up on a pedestal, get it closer to light, and it'll start putting out those enormous yellow pitchers again. But if you do get a Hamakua hybrid, bright light. All right, let me turn the camera around. All right, so I know that was very fast. I got to catch my breath. I hope that you enjoyed the video. It is sweltering hot in here. It's a very humid, very hot day outside, and it is accentuated in this grow tent. I hope that you've enjoyed the tour. It was impromptu, but hopefully you got to experience some of the growth with me, and that's what I want to do in this, ultimately, with this channel, is have you come along with the ride with me and just experience these plants with me, and hopefully that keeps your interest in them, and if you're new, sparks that interest to get involved and grow them as well. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.